All right, hello everybody. World Series is over. It is the 3rd November here. It's about 10:09 p.m. on the East Coast in los Estados Unidos. So hopefully everybody is doing well. And yeah, said it in the comments or whatever, a little post. But congratulations to Los Angeles Dodgers. I was wondering there for a while if this is going to be the first time in history that the Yankees would have been swept. That didn't happen, but so two big market teams going at it, and Dodgers put a good whomping on them. So nothing for Yankees fans to be ashamed of. But as a National Leaguer, congrats to the LA Dodgers and all the other teams that were in the postseason. It was a good one. I would have liked to have seen the Tigers go a bit further and stuff like that. But glad that Milwaukee got knocked out. Very, very happy about that. All right, so what's up here? We're just going to sim out the rest of the McGraw League since I've been absent, working on Magic and all that other kind of stuff. And then hopefully Bernie will catch this, and when he wants to start a World Series, we can do that. We'll talk a little bit about McGreevy League, and then we'll probably let Ernie do some 1911. There's Dwayne Martz. Do a game or whatever. If we just want to chin wag some baseball, definitely we can do that. So yeah, there's a lot going on YouTube right now. That there are people in the community that have like a baseball league going and a football league going and all that kind of stuff. So we'll be talking about that a little bit and why I'm when we get time to, as far as McGreevy goes, and I kind of understand that we're going to be very lucky to get 10 people. I really don't think we will, but it's going to be fun. Nonetheless. So I'll put, if anybody just wants to join, just let me know, and I'll put you on the mic. So what we're going to do is just sim everything out here. So it's been a while. Hey, there's Cousin Ken. He says he's in for McGreevy. So let's look at the standings. I haven't touched this league since the 29th of September. So remember, this was National League that I picked 8 teams. Bernie in his version, the MAC League, picked 8 American League teams. So the Boston Bean Eaters, Cousin Ken called it at the beginning of this thing that the Boston Bean Eaters would be tough. I don't think what any of us realized is just that this pennant race is crazy, crazy tough. The Bean Eaters are a game up on the Cubs and the 1906 Cubs and the 1915 Phillies. Just 2.5 back are the 1916 Brooklyn Robins, 4.5 back the 1919 Reds, the 1909 Pirates, 5.5 back, the 1894 Baltimore Orioles, 6 back, but surprisingly, the 1905 New York Giants. I really, really, really expect them to do a lot better in this league, and they are 11.5 games out. And yeah, Dwayne, thank you. Ken Castro thanking Dwayne for the game. Certainly, Dwayne is a machine, man. He's a machine. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are in June, so we'll play until, let's sim for next month. And watch the standings. Bean Eaters opening up that 1-game lead now. So we'll see. Oh, yeah. Now it looks like things are starting to open up a little bit. Big time. Bean Eaters are going crazy here. So they started the night just a game ahead. Now they are 6 games ahead. Now 5. All right. Cubs have made a major move up in the standing, 1906, putting some heat on the Bean Eaters. So indeed they are. So now it's the Cubs 3 behind. The 1894 Orioles are 6 back. The 1915 Phillies and the 1916 Robins are 8 back. The Reds are 11 back. The Pirates of 1909 are 12 back. And the Giants still bringing up the rear. So that's where we are right now. We're going to look at some standings and stuff. But first we want to see who is beating up on whom. My goodness gracious. So looking at these Bean Eaters, they're just they're pretty much having fun with everybody. But especially they've got 8 wins against Brooklyn, 8 wins against the 1919 Reds, 7 against the 1905 Giants, 6 against the Pirates, 5 against the Phillies of 1915. Wow. But then the other story, of course, being the New York Giants. The New York Giants, right now, the team they're doing best against is the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. They've beat the Pirates 6 times. And the Buccos, let me see. They have, where are they with New York? So New York edging Pittsburgh right now, 6 wins to 5 losses. There's 6 wins to 5 wins. But how about it? So we're going to look at a little bit of statistics. Got to look at statistics because statistics are important. All right. So we are now in July of 1900 in this thing. There's Aaron Reed. All right. Dwayne says it should be Giants in the rear with the gear. So Dwayne not terribly fond of the New York Giants, or the Giants, would you say the Giants? All right, so Chick Stahl leading the league with a 391 batting average. Steve Brody just behind him at 355. Beals Becker has 8 home runs. Chick Stahl behind him at 6. So Chick Stahl doing a really, really good job here. Also leading the league in runs batted in with 71. Dan Bruthers is just in second with 59. Let me see what else we got here. Chick Stahl with a 579 slugging percentage, an OPS of 1.029. So if you're going to be in the McGreevy League, take note. His WAR, wins above replacement, 3.4. The man is leading the league in hits with 102. Steve Brody, 97 behind him. And then we get a little break here from Chick Stahl. John McGraw leads the league with 71 runs. Billy Hamilton behind him at 65. Chick Stahl leading in doubles. Man, Chick Stahl's a beast. What the hell is going on? Total bases. It's a stat I don't care about, but he's leading in total bases. John McGraw leading with 40 stolen bases, sliding Billy Hamilton behind him at 36. And I keep changing his picture, and then somebody told me how to make that a permanent fix. So since we're not going to be playing out any games, I'm not going to fix Billy on this one, but I'll fix it for the upcoming McGreevy League. Because I'm sure somebody's going to draft Sliding Billy. All right, so Sliding Billy was caught stealing 22 times. McGraw, Jimmy Sheckard behind him at 20. Let me see. John McGraw doing a good job getting on base. He's drawn 63 walks. Maury Rath leading in sacrifice hits. Ed Roush leading the league with sacrifices at 5, sacrifice flies. So isolated power, that's not a stat that you would expect. I mean, you would expect it to be low in this era of baseball. So just 188, but it's all about Chick Stahl, man, a 181 OPS plus. So let's have a look here at pitching leaders. All right, so who do we got here? So Jack Feaster leading all pitchers in this National League, McGraw League, with a 1.89 earned run average. So, I mean, this is a tough league. Jack Stivitz behind him at 2.45. Bob Wicker, how about this? Has 17 wins and then 4 pitchers tied with 15. Howie Kamnitz, Bill Hawkrud, Marquard, Kid Nichols. The player with the most losses, Vic Willis, or pitcher with the most losses, Vic Willis, with 16 thus far in the season. Grover Cleveland Alexander wins above replacement is 4.8. Kid Nichols just behind him at 4.6. Grover Cleveland Alexander, real workhorse in this league. He has pitched 215 2/3 right now with 19 complete games, leading the league in those categories. Looks like the Pirates trying to get what they can out of Kamnitz. Along with his 15 wins, he's tied. It's a 4-way tie actually for complete games. Striking him out is Grover Cleveland Alexander with 81. Good to see Mathewson at least on the charts here somewhere, but Matty not having a very good year. Red Ames has given up the most walks, 83. Grover Cleveland Alexander, 1.9 strikeouts per 9. Or 1.9 strikeouts divided by walks. You get it. Yeah. Anyhow. Red Ames, 3.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. Jack Feaster leading with 5 shutouts. Jeff Pfeffer of Brooklyn with 4 saves. So there's kind of where we are right now as we're kind of entering this halfway point of the season. We're going to finish it all up. See if we've got any streaks going on right now. So the longest hitting streak in this league thus far has been Huey Jennings with a 23-game hitting streak. Sliding Billy Hamilton with a 10-game scoring streak. Jeff Pfeffer with 4 straight saves. Bob Wicker has won 7 straight as a starting pitcher. Grover Cleveland Alexander has lost 7 straight. So a lot of surprises here. And that I didn't expect. I really didn't expect. So let's go ahead and move on here. Not really terribly worried about fielding leaders, hot hitters right now. Joe McGraw, Marty Bergen, and Sammy Strang. And the hot pitchers, Sadie McMahon, Kid Nichols, Rube Marquardt, Jack Feaster. All right. Let us go back to our standings, and then we're going to go ahead and let this thing go through July. All right. Oops, there we go. Been a while since I played out of the park baseball. There we go. All right. So here we go. Whoops, play next month. All right, here we go. Aaron, I hope you're doing well. So while this is going, I'm still waiting for updates. Still no word from Craig Harris. We're working on it. Apparently, a couple of beta testers have said that pocket pennant run. One guy he says he's beta tested now or play tested about 200 games. He said the game is transformed. We will be extremely excited. I'm hoping so. So maybe Craig's going to surprise us and put in the league play notes. I have no idea, guys. I have no idea. So waiting on that. And I also I've run through 2 test versions or 2 test builds of Dombrov Baseball, and I am sorry to report that the Baseball Reference import is not working properly yet. I emailed Richard, and he sent me another test build, emailed him again. So I'm assuming Richard is hopefully working on that, because I know there are some folks out there that are interested or are playing Dombrov Baseball. So that's all I've heard. Hopefully there's something here soon. Brooklyn Beaneaters, let me see. What do we got here? So the race looks like it's going to come down to the 1906 Cubs and the 1897 Beaneaters. Beaneaters with a 3-game edge on the Cubs. Everybody else pretty much double digits. The Giants still, oh my God, they are just stinking up the place, man. 23 games back for the 1905 New York Giants. Their last 10, they are 3-7. The Cubs keeping up the heat on the 1897 Beaneaters, the 1906 Bruins. While they've lost 2 straight, they're 7-3 in their last 10. Magic number, as you can see, for the Beaneaters is 55. 55. So don't pay any attention to the wild card. There is no wild card. None of that nonsense. Chick Stahl still pretty much ahead here. Billy Hamilton still 3 behind John McGraw on stolen bases. So Aaron says he's doing all right. That's good. All right, let us move ahead to next month. Boom, boom, boom. And it looks like we have a 30-game on-base streak by somebody. Man, the Cubs are trying to catch the Beaneaters, man. 1 game back. 1 game back. They are tied now for first, and the Cubs briefly took over for. It's a battle for first place. It's a dogfight. The Cubs are now 2 games up, and the Beaneaters 3 games up. 4. Could the 1906 Cubs pull this one out? I don't know, man. Beaneaters have pretty much been on top the whole season. Now the Cubbies opening up a decent lead. And let me see what on base streak. 2 times first 30 game on base streak by Miller. And then, yeah, okay, cool. 7 consecutive hit streak by Vic Willis. All right, cool, nice. All right, with 25 on the magic number, guys, it's the 1906 Cubs now 4 ahead of the 1897 Beaneaters. Pardon me, Aaron Reed says playing a lot of APA, still doing the 1966 replays. All right, and the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates, he says, are in a dogfight for the National League pennant. All right. If at any time you guys want to see any stats or see any particular teams, let me know. So the New York Giants of 1905, this is just bizarre, man. They are 30 games back. 30 games. They are out of this race. So we're pretty much watching now to see what's going to happen here. Again, this is going to be the best team wins this. No nonsense. And then the best team in this league will face the best in Bernie's MAC League, which I'm assuming is going to be one of the 3 Philadelphia Athletics teams he put in 1905. I think it was 1910 and 1911. So interesting little experiment there. All right, let us continue. Let us continue, and we will play until the regular season ends. And here we go. All right, Cubs opening up that lead, but we'll see. Holding steady at 5 games up in the 1897 Boston Beaneaters. So again, take note, guys. Take note that if you're looking for any players, if any of you want to be in the next McGreevy League, this will give you at least a sample size of because the McGreevy League, I think we're going to still normalize it to 1900. I think that's just a really good year. So, yeah. Okay, so the Baltimore Orioles, 1894, making a little bit of a run here in the final month of the season. Dropping back again. And there we go. There we go, guys. And the 1906 Chicago Cubs end the season with a 97-56 records. They finish 6 games up on the 1897 Boston Beaneaters. The 1894 Orioles made a little late run, finished 9 back. Everybody else double digits, and the best of the double digits game back teams, the 1915 Phillies at 21 back. The Giants finishing 34 games back at 63-90, almost as bad as the 2004 Chicago White Sox. Let's have a look at the Giants and see what aileth them, or what did aileth them. So it looks like they're producers here. I mean, so Christy Mathewson finishes 20 wins, 31 losses, and a 4.67 earned run average. Red Ames, 20 and 27, a 5.12 earned run average. So the key, Mathewson, and I mean, it's not for lack of pitching. I think it's because they were trying to get something going. Christie pitched 402 and 2/3 innings, struck out 150 batters. Again, 120, but when you lose 31, that kind of sucks, right? Christy Mathewson just did not have a good year. Mike Donlin finished with a 356 average and had 13 home runs. Turkey Mike Donlin, 113 RBI. Art Devlin led the Giants with 54 steals. Wow. So if I were to continue this is where I would do player development, and but I'm not going to. But this is one of those things, I'm always talking about. Hey, do something with the player development thing, because it's really, really super cool. So wow, pretty crazy stuff. So I don't know when Bernie will be ready. I know I'm the one that hasn't been around. But the 1906 Chicago Cubs will be facing whoever won first in the MAC League, the American League version of this. So, and the 1906 Cubs finished it off with a 5-game winning streak too. So there we go. That is it. MV, welcome in. How you doing? So don't know the blooping sound. Have no idea. Aaron. Nothing blooping on this side that I know of. Anyhow, good to see you, MV. I stopped by your game the other day just for a few moments after work before I decided to have a wee kip. So good to hear you back on the air. All right. So as far as the stolen base race, cousin Ken, John McGraw ended up running away with it with 83. Billy Hamilton behind him with 65. Sully Hoffman with 57. So that's it. So when I hear from Bernie, I'm hopefully back now on a little bit more regular basis. Yeah. Hey, Mike. Yep. It has been a minute. I've been working on did a magic performance last week, so kind of getting back into magic on a professional kind of basis, if you will, performing again. So busy really tightening down some really very highly technical stuff, sleight of hand wise and all that. So that's kept me really busy. I've missed it. I've missed being around the community, but trying to balance things out a little bit more now that I've got a lot of the tougher stuff in my act ready to go. It's just a case of kind of rehearsing things. So, Mike, I hope you're doing well. Jeff Hunter, great to see you, man. All right. And Carlos Yaz is here. All right. So, the McGreevy League, I'm going to be posting, but just so it doesn't get kind of lost. So if you're a member of the McGreevy Discord, not the other one, not the Sports Sims Replay, but the McGreevy League Discord, which was set up for that, for McGreevy, and then we're doing other things, whatever. So I'm going to be posting in there starting this week to see what interest there will be. I know that on the rest of the community doing baseball, Field of Dreams baseball. They're also doing Gridiron Dreams football and what have you. I think those are the two things. I don't know if they're still doing basketball or what they're doing. I know there was some chin wagging at some point about hockey. So McGreevy is going to be just kind of like its own little thing. I'm not trying to insinuate that I'm like separating from the community. It's not that. It's just that because that Discord, the Sports Sims League, that Discord has so much going on with two leagues, two different sports and stuff like that. So look for that in McGreevy League announcements. Again, we're going to be doing it in Out of the Park Baseball, and we're doing 1871 to 1929. The way it will work, I'm going to run some posts all this week in the McGreevy Discord, letting people know what it's about, trying to gauge some interest. Those of you that will be interested, it's the easiest draft in the world. On draft night, when it's your turn, the only thing that's going to be random in this draft is the draft order. That is it. So when it's your turn, you will pick a player, but not the year, just the player, just that night. So, if I look down here, I'm just going to use you guys as examples. So let's say, Mike is first up and, all he would say is, Mike being his effervescent self or whatever. Oh, but he's Hannes Wagner, right? And then, Carlos would be up and he would say Nap Lajoie. Aaron would be up and say Rogers Hornsby, right? So no years. So the idea of this is to build, right? You're not going to name any years that night. The idea again is to build the best team that you can. All right. Without, again, with you're just dealing with the random draft order. And I'm thinking about changing up the draft order like halfway through the draft just to shake things up a little bit, because I think we're going to have some shaking things up, because I think it would be good if you kind of research the players. So, bust out Baseball Reference, break out your copy of Stats All-Time Handbook, Sourcebook, and whatever baseball resources. And then what you'll do is in the Discord, you will private message me the year that you selected for that player. And also if you want a custom team name and all that kind of stuff. All right. So that's how that's going to work. So that's the only thing that's going to be a mid-draft shake up the order. Other than that, it's up to you to kind of and with such a small amount of years, and depending upon, I'll be surprised if we get 5 managers. I really will. I'm going to do the project anyhow, but I'll be surprised if we get more than 5, because this is very niche. And again, I think what they're doing with Field of Dreams, certainly much broader appeal, and I'm totally fine with that. Totally fine with that. I think it's awesome. So that's what's going on with McGreevy. I know cousin Ken Castro's in, so looking forward to that. There's not going to be any trading in the McGreevy League. It really is about how well can you do your baseball research. So, and I decided to do out of the park baseball because it's an easier point of entry for people. To do this in action PC baseball, you would, you would almost have to, you'd have to at least own an action PC. Doesn't go back to 1871 anyhow. But you'd have to at least own everything from 1880 to 1929. I know a lot of people don't. And why would you buy all of those seasons? I mean, you should anyhow, but, just for something like this. This way, for one price, you get out of the park baseball, and it's got everything. And then you have time to maybe put together your dream team, do a fantasy draft of your own. Again, with having all these seasons, very, very easy to do as far as that goes, or just do a mass text import if you want. There's lots of ways you can do it. You will have a chance because you can go into some deeper management of players and out of the park baseball. You'll have a chance to certainly do that. And then half the season, we're going to play out half the season. We'll stop. We're going to actually have it do an all-star game. And then after the all-star game is over, you will have a chance at that point to do any manager tendencies or what have you. Okay. I'm hoping that there will be enough interest that we can actually have 2 leagues so that we can have a quote unquote World Series. If that doesn't happen, then it would just be the team that finishes first plays the team that finishes second in a World Series, and the team that finishes first obviously gets home field advantage. So if you guys have any other ideas, it would be fun to spice this up. I think adding in the 1920s decade is going to make it really fun, especially since we're going to still keep it. It's going to keep this normalized to 1900. So it's not like these guys are going to come out gangbusters. So we're still going to trying to achieve a kind of level playing field across early baseball, and then which would be up to 1892, and then dead ball baseball from 1893 to 1919, and then that modern, quote unquote, modern baseball time, whatever, live ball era, 1920 to 29. I think it'll be fun. And I hope you guys will consider joining it. I wanted to do McGreevy this way this time because a lot of people are saying, yeah, I'd like to be involved in it, but I really don't know a lot about early baseball. Well, here's your chance now to kind of learn as you go and just have fun with it. It's you could be 2-3 other leagues. This is going to be really any time commitment is going to be a real quick draft. As long as you got a draft list. And I would say this, if you do have, also have a second and third player ready, just in case you're a little later in the draft and somebody takes one of the usual suspects. All right. So I guess that's pretty much it for that. I don't know how you guys feel about the baseball postseason. Again, congratulations to the LA Dodgers. Way to go. Mike, I know your Mets did pretty well, and I thank your Mets for knocking the Brewers out of the postseason. So a good postseason. I'm glad that the Dodgers Yankees didn't go 7. I was actually hoping it would have been. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do not think that the New York Yankees have ever been swept in a World Series. So I was thinking it was going to happen. The Yankees managed to win a game. So I don't know, Aaron Judge, just Freddie Freeman. So the guy goes, what, a month at the end of the regular season without a home run, and then all of a sudden he's just insane, right? Out all over the place. So congrats to the Dodgers. Now we just wait for spring training. So the Phillies, yeah. So Ken says the Phillies hurt me. I can show you on the doll. Yeah, you guys. Oh my God. Right. I'm sorry, Mike. I know they're not your Mets. I just was thinking, because 1986 that, who is did I ever ask you, who do you root for in the National League, or do you root for anybody? Anyhow, I think I had that in my head because of you having done that 1986 replay, and I know you're a Sox fan, of course. Hey, Tim's joining us here. Cleveland, maybe just one season short of getting to the show. Let's hope getting to the big dance at the end. Defensive pitching woes felled the Guardians for any chance they did have. Tim says 76 years and counting, and 146 days until opening day. That's right. I'm ready. I am ready for opening day, man. Let's get it on. So, yeah. A lot. It was tough to root for, this because I liked a lot of the teams in the postseason. Not the Yankees. Sorry, Dwayne, but there you go. But so it was cool. I mean, Cleveland, Detroit, I really, really, like both of those American League franchises. The National League was more, I was happy about the people that got knocked out, like incrementally. It was, cool to see the Mets deal with the Brewers, and the Mets played the Dodgers tough. It wasn't like they laid down, but what happened to the Yankees? Who knows? But I think Cleveland's going to be tough next year, man. It's going to be tough. Yankees, they beat themselves in one of those games with the errors and stuff like that. But now, so you guys have other sports to follow, and I just got this, which is fine. All right. So that's it, I guess. Nobody feels like popping on here. We'll just, again, this will be where we're going to be doing the McGreevy League. So I hope at least consider it, guys. It's going to be basically, we'll play some games, but mostly we're going to sim it out and then, decide, hey, what do we want to do with it maybe in another season, where if guys do want to shake things up a bit, we certainly can. But it's just going to be fun to kind of revisit it, this and doing it in a different milieu, if you will. Yeah. So Guardians have a much shorter playoff drought. As Tim says, fifth inning for the Dodgers game 4 might have been the worst defensive inning in any postseason. Yep, that's correct, Ken. 1871 to 1929. So how it's going to turn out is anybody's guess, man. I thought about doing it on Baseball for Windows, to be honest with you, but because I'm not familiar, since I'm not familiar, it's just the way that managers work in that game. It's very, very different than any other baseball game, because those are actually AIs, and each one are, is programmed to do a certain era of baseball and whatever. And I've got so many micromanagers, and it would just be a nightmare. But I thought it'd be fun to have Ernie just do that. But we're going to do it on here. So, yep. Any limit on 1920s players? We can. Should we? I'm still going to keep it. I think the league normalized it at the year 1900. So we could talk about that, certainly. If you feel there should be a limit on 1920s players, we certainly can do that. I mean, we can think about that and kind of have a little chin wag about it and Discord back and forth and go from there. What I might do is set something up. Maybe taking just like this McGraw league, dumping these guys, draft them, and then just do an import of like some of the best players from the 1920s, see what the 1920s players do beforehand, see if there has to be any sort of normalization or anything. Ken continues, curious as to how 19th century pitchers will face against the modern guys from the 20s, or will fare against the modern guys from the 20s. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to say the least. But again, it's just as Dave Gardner and many have said. And once you roll the dice, you click that mouse button, it's already fictional, even if you're doing a season replay. It's like we have a saying in Magic, there's no such thing as a self-working magic effect, right? You've got to frame it, you've got to actually perform it. So, and again, I could restart even this season, play it out again, and we might see vastly different things. And that's why I love these sort of what ifs. So I'm curious too, because what we could do actually would be to run it in 1900 and then run it in like another year. We would pick a year at random, 92, let's say, and then run it one more time in 1923, just to kind of get a sense of how all that's gonna, how all that plays out, whatever. So if you have a ballpark, also, you could pick that at night. And we got to always thank Mike for the beautiful ballparks in this game that he's done. It's certainly, and the uniform mod certainly has heightened people's enjoyment of Out of the Park 1,000-fold. So, doff of the cap as usual, buddy. Yeah, I mean the 1920 players, because right? Because this will be the first time in the McGreevy League that Babe Ruth's even going to be in it, right? He was kind of like not allowed before, but now he's going to be. Now we're going to see a young Jimmy Fox. We'll see Jimmy Fox. Somebody's going to draft Fox. Obviously, Ruth is getting Gehrig. We're going to see Hornsby. Hornsby, of course, being a crossover player, though. But I do expect to see. I expect to see a lot of people drafting 1920s players. Just remember that it really didn't turn into this big slugging decade. I mean, you've got Lou Gehrig's rookie year is 1925. Yeah, by 1927 he hit 47 home runs I think that year, whatever. The year Babe Ruth hit 60 and Ruth hit 59 in 1921. But it wasn't like all big slugging things yet. So there's still a lot of, even with a live ball, still some dead ball tactics going on there. So I thought, just leave it at 1900. We'll see. It may turn out to be terribly unrealistic, and that's okay. Then we try it again with another year after, and just to have fun. So right now, just go back and look at the 1900 overall ratings for things, right? Statistical normalization for the National League. So this is going to be 1900 National League. Obviously, there's no American League in 1900. So we'll be setting it to 1900 National League for the next McGreevy. And then we'll see what we want to do after it. It'll be fun. Again, the manager thing here, it's pretty cool. So you have there's a lot more you can do in this too than you can in Action PC Baseball. It's not a knock on Action PC Baseball, but also the fact that you can even do more per player. So if you have Out of the Park Baseball, and why don't you? It was really cheap during All-Star Week. I think it's still discounted right now. I don't know. Anyhow, if you've never visited the screen, you really, really should. It's pretty deep what it can do. So, yeah. And then down to the player level, it does things that Action PC doesn't. So, like we go to Joe Tinker here, for instance, and we can kind of set how we want to like our individual strategy with him. So stolen bases, base running, hit and run, sacrifice, bunt, run for hits, all these kinds of things. So if you want to get that deep, and I know some of you will want to, like Ken, for instance, I know that he would, these are gonna go up to frequently, and all that. So I mean, season's over, can't do anything there right now. But more options, I think, here. And plus, we every project we've done that has been cross-era stuff and everything has been action PC baseball, and I think it's just time to do something new. So I don't know. Any other questions? My fear is just everybody will stock up on 20s players, says Cousin Ken. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of thought about that as well. So there might be a limit. A lot of that's going to depend on how many managers we have too. So the more managers, we have, then then the 1920s decade becomes less of an issue. The fewer we have, then people just load up, and then that's why I've got to see what the interest is going to be, and the other teams, because again, I'm not fooling myself. This is not going to get 24 player or 24 managers, owners, whatever, like Fields of Dreams League has. I know that. So the computer is going to, will be managing every other team that's not taken. I'm thinking about disabling injuries completely for this. So, because again, what's the one thing that you can't really kind of predict? I mean, you can't predict injuries. So if the idea of this league is to try to build the best team that you can, right? So you have this killer team, and then all of a sudden, right, Joe Tinker is out like for the rest of the year for whatever reason. So I'm thinking no injuries. So MV already giving away his draft picks. He says once he gets Benny Koff, Ed Roush, Dan Bruthers, Chick Stahl, Cy Falkenberg, Ray Collins, he's good. So Chicky Stahl ripped it up in this McGraw league. MV, he led in so many categories. It was crazy. Just crazy. So nice stuff. Where is it? Where are they? Bah. Anyhow, statistics. There we go. So Mike Donlin coming on strong, but Chicky Stahl up there and leading in a lot of areas too. So take note, guys. Take a screenshot if you want to get at least some players for this. And again, this is just 8 National League teams, so there's so many other players, and going back to 1871. I don't expect to see a lot of guys from the 1870s in this league, though. But we'll see. We might see Spalding pitch, man. Yeah. How'd Turkey Mike do? Turkey Mike Donlin led the league with a 356 batting average. Chick Stahl hit 350. Let me see. Donlin with a 510 slugging percentage. Finished with 204 hits. But Chick Stahl, you'll notice he's in the top 5 in a lot of categories. Donlin came on late. Donlin was the only highlight for the 1905 New York Giants. That was it. There was just nobody else. Just kind of crazy. Cy Young is not in this league. This is National League. So Cy Young will be in Bernie's MAC League. So, and Hal Chase also was an American leaguer, so he's not in here. So you would have to, I don't know what, I'm guessing Bernie probably finished his MAC League a long time ago. So if those guys are on teams that Bernie picked, they would have been in his. But yep, no Hal Chase in this league. No Cy Young. No, actually, yeah. Wait, is Cy Young on this? I thought he was. No, he wasn't with. Was he with Cleveland still in 1897? He might be. So I may have to correct myself on Cy Young here. Let's see. Cy Young. Let's see. Cy Young. Let me look. Nope. So I don't know. Let's look at our league news. League news. So there we go. And we're not going to go through all these pages, but I'm going to save this because I think it's fun. If somebody, I'll tell you what, if somebody wants this as a quick start, I'll give it to you because you would be able to go through this and kind of get a sense of, right? Okay, who might I be able to draft that people aren't going to be aware of, right? So this might be fun. Yeah. Dead Boyer has been in charge of great talent. Absolutely. Absolutely. MV says Cy Falkenberg is a gem on the mound. Aaron Reed's telling us that he may do an APA stream tomorrow, continuing the year 1966. Yep. Mike Silva says Action P does a hell of a job normalizing the dead ballers. Yeah, I mean, does. So MV says he'll take the quick starts. I really want to kind of just do. I think there's just I really want to do this in Action PC. Or Alec Park. I mean, I think Alec Park does, or Action PC does a great job. But it was kind of Carlos Yaz. I don't remember if he might not even recall asking me this, but it was some time ago. He said, "Oh, I want to be able to change the steal tendency for whoever it was, and you can't do that in Action PC baseball, and here you can." So I like that you can really kind of get down to the nitty gritty, and again, similarities, but I don't know. The other thing is just the point of entry is a lot cheaper for anybody that wants to run their own leagues, rather than like even when Dave Cook has sales. I mean, 1871 to 1929, however many years, that's a lot of seasons to buy, even on sale. So I wouldn't ask anybody to do that. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Chris Slovic joining us. It's great to see you. Want to get Pro Baseball Spirits 2024-25, which is awesome. It gives graphics. What is it? Pro Baseball Spirits? What is that? That's a game? Really? I haven't even heard of that. Let's look it up. Maybe we'll Pro Baseball Spirits. Yeah, sounds like booze, right, Mike? Sounds like booze. All right, let me Google this guy here. I never heard of this. Pro Baseball. That's an interesting name. All right, so here we go. So this thing's going to be on. No, wait, it's going to be on Steam. So it's going to be on Steam. Somebody's talking about this new Japanese game is amazing. Okay, so it's a PS5 game too. So Professional Baseball Series launches. Oh, it's so nice. Okay, so it's already released in Japan. This is in. I'm going to pull this over so you guys can see this. I had no idea. It launches, so I guess it did launch 19th September in Japan. Live commentary provided by Suki Mitsuhashi, who's known for the commentary in previous Baseball Spirits games. 2 new modes. Okay, a VS pennant race and star player. 2 modes have been added. My Ballpark, which you become a general manager and president of a professional team. And Baseball Miracle, in which you aim for Cushion Stadium as a high school baseball coach. All right, so So I'm guessing this is kind of like a sort of Japanese and Korean kind of version approach, or for like an MLB The Show, but for like Japanese leagues, Korean leagues. Yeah. So An online-only free-to-play version of My Ballpark titled Professional Baseball Spirits My Ballpark will also be available as a separate release for PlayStation 5 and on Steam on the PC. And Baseball Miracle was the high school thing. So yeah, I mean, definitely getting some pretty interesting vibes here. Sorry, I don't read Japanese, but could be fun. Could be fun. Thanks, Chris, for letting us know about that. Do they have Dead Ball Era? Yeah. He says, so he says people, he's telling everybody to Google it. So, I mean, it looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Looks pretty nice. So Star Player, the new body edit feature allows you to set your own face and form. Specialties and stats can also be set, allowing you to live a professional baseball career of up to 30 years with a player all your own. Okay. So, stadium details trailer, blah, blah, blah. So there we go, guys. Check it out. PlayStation 5 and PC. Let me go ahead and knock out of this. Hey Bart, how you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna look this up, Mike. I'll look it up and see if it has a Steam page yet. Maybe because Pro Baseball Spirits. I don't think it has a Steam page yet. Yeah, nope. But here's the thing called Baseball Legacy Manager 24. What the hell is this? So build the ultimate legacy as a general manager of a professional baseball team. I didn't know. I didn't see this before. Is this all fictional stuff? Ultimate baseball general manager experience. Offline baseball manager anytime, anywhere. Unique career storylines, fully customizable. Customize players, teams, coaches, and leagues. Take control of your baseball universe and shape its future with expansion. Introduce exciting new features, player attributes, control, velocity, break, speed, stealing. Well, I didn't know about this game. Prolonged gaming experience. You can play for decades and even centuries. What are people? That's lighter than Out of the Park. Okay. It says here, this guy's still learning all the aspects of the game. And there's a little thumbs down. The developer decided to implement an anti-piracy feature. It's usually the only one paying for this customer, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so somebody's butthurt about whatever. Let's look at the trailer. I think I'm sharing the sound here. I guess there's no sound. Yeah, I guess there's just no whatever. All right, so it looks like it's it's fictional players. So create and edit players, custom and community rosters. Okay. So it looks like Pro Baseball Spirits doesn't have its own Steam page yet. Game license says license not found, can't play. I guess I got scammed. So says I couldn't verify Steam ownership and that it'll close. And it doesn't look like any of the devs have answered that. So maybe it's already dead in the water. Well, I'll look at a couple screenshots here of this thing. And then we'll cut out here in a few minutes. Yeah. Hey, look, there's A Silva. How about it? So Mike's brother, A Silva. We don't know his first name. Okay, so so this does look like kind of a sort of very sort of stripped down out of the park baseball or spiffed up. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, anyhow. Agreed. English is tough. Todd B says, I have enough trouble completing projects in English. Absolutely. All right. So, anyhow, guys, the, what's this? Bunk. I'll be putting things up in the McGreevy Discord about the Ned McGreevy League. So, if anybody's interested, once you see that announcement, I'll post it a number of times. Please do feel free. All right. I was going to do a 1911 game, but I think we're just going to cut it out here for tonight. So thank you, everybody, for showing up and hanging out a bit as we close it down here in under an hour. So Carlos, Todd, Mike, Bart, Christopher, MV, Cousin Ken, Dwayne Martz, Tim, Clee Baseball Fan 79. Jeff was here. Jeff Hunter. Thanks, Jeff. Did I say Aaron Reed? Yeah, I did. Aaron Reed. I'll say it again. So that's it, guys. Keep up with what Dwayne's going on, and you should start to see Todd B coming in. Hey, Todd. We'll be starting to pick things up again. All right. Until the next time we meet, guys. 146 days, as Tim tells us, to opening day. All right. See you around the batting cage. Good night, gents. Good night.